Okay. What's coming out now is about the pedophilia. Okay, and this is as it was in the beginning. This is your days of Noah. I've talked about this before. You have your ignorance. You have you're not understanding. I mean, the earthly, the heavenly, and the earthly. Okay, and so the earthly angels. It's just how I have to divide it. All right, received the heavenly daughter, okay, which is the children are God's children. They are truth. They are the divine. They are love. They are light, and they are truth. They are the divine truth. Okay, they are heavenly, right? They are higher. The daughters were raped. They were defiled, meaning their light was taken from them. Okay, it was snatched away. It was abducted. Their truth was taken from them. Okay, the earthly, not having the heavenly discernment, birthed the story and the understanding as we know it today. Okay? Now, the Illuminati, on Earth it's Illuminati, it's not full illumination, okay? But they have this heavenly knowledge, or this heavenly truth, but they didn't understand it. So it became defiled, it flipped, okay, to earthly. They made it manifest what was in spirit and not in form, okay? Hence, that's how rape became actual physical manifestation of defiling somebody, okay? Because they didn't know. So, in ignorance, all of this has birthed into place. Now, God's children, the newborns, you know, the innocent, they had that full light, that energy, that heavenly. Their lights were taken, okay, and they were left in the darkness. That's who is in the dark. And what they do, you know, they do from what happened in the beginning. So, and the thing is throughout this time, just more births and more births and more births, and very little light, so they could see the truth. So now, this what the Illuminati has been doing, the 13 offspring of the fallen, okay, that survived the flood, they have had the secret teaching that they think and that they have doing, and for thousands of years, okay, and they're ignorant too, okay. they think that what they have is the absolute truth. But he's just like the Judas thing. He's totally, completely flipped it. Okay? So, in this material world, when they rape a child, the younger the better, that's this light that they get, or whatever they get, okay? But when they kill these children, and the fear, when they torture them and they cage them and they do this horrific abuse to them, it manifests this darkness in them, okay? Because fear, that's what it manifests, fear. And that fear feeds this dark family, okay? This dark bloodline. That's what feeds it. And so the more terrorizing you do prior to that child's death at your hands, because at that moment that child dies is when that soul is taken, okay? And that soul, the more fear that it's in, the more that it's in, the more light they get. I mean, it's darkness, okay, you know what I'm saying? But they get this godlike feeling of light in them. And so it's just feeding. They're just literally feeding and taking these children, not understanding what this really was about in the beginning, okay? I mean, it's just so horrific. It's so horrific what has been birthed here in ignorance, okay? It's again like the abortions I was talking about. It's the abortions, that's, you know, the births of events that are being aborted now. But look how this whole abortion thing, battle has come about here now. And people just don't understand this material flesh manifesting here, you know, manifestation in this world compared to the spirit, and what it means in the spirit. It's not what it means here in the flesh. So them trading is what they're doing, this trafficking of sending these children to different men and women who are the elites. They think by doing this, you know, it's a parable opposite of everybody getting the light, everybody getting the truth of God's children. You know what I'm saying? And so by the more people who molest these children and hurt these children, rape them, and do just unspeakable things to them, the more godly they feel. And in here, they really believe it. Does that make sense? All this is true. All this that's coming out is true. Hollywood, it's the city of Los Angeles. It's the city of Los Angeles. Okay, so who, of course, they are all in it. So you have to look at them as lost angels. Okay, who know they're the trenders. You know, that think that everybody looks up to them, right? But these lost angels, they are doing this to God's children in total, complete ignorance, okay? Because they think it keeps them, you know, the blood is what keeps them young, you know, the whole bathing in it, but the adrenochrome and the drinking of it and the eating of the flesh, because this is true. This is all true. this eating, this pedivore of the human flesh, all of it, okay? But understand, you got to go back to biblical. You know, the eating of the flesh and really what it means, and what everything is the opposite. You understand? So, whereas the angels receive from God's children the truth, the light, the flowing waters, okay? These ignorant, fallen, earthly, that are in the city of the lost angels, okay? These poor lost souls that thrive, and they are really the slaves and they don't know it, okay? But they're thriving here. They are doing what these lost angels tell them to, that their lies, giants, their lies, that keeps them young and keeps them adorned, everything. They think they have the truth. They think that they have the true God. They think that they have the truth. They think that they have it all, and they've been completely lied to, okay? And so they have been doing all of this heinous, horrific things to these children, okay? And they do eat this flesh, and they do drink the blood, okay? And the adrenochrome from the adrenal gland, that is their drug. That is the new drug. And this is worldwide. This is your foundation for everything, okay? This is the number one thing, and this is the core, okay, that has to be taken out. This is it. Now, media has to do with Persia, old Babylon, right? Okay, so you have media, Persia, Babylon. You have media, okay? So understand what the media is. They're going to lie to you. They are completely in it. You cannot be in the media. You cannot be a speaker of words. You cannot be in that status anywhere without being part of that. You can't. Okay? You can't. Now, meaning the ones that are in the top, they all are in it. Okay? The ones that you don't see very much of anymore, or they never really get those good roles because they've chosen not to participate. They know about it, but they don't participate. You understand, so many deaths that people just, you assume through all these years were just deaths. They weren't deaths, okay? They were people going to speak out. And so they do this to keep everybody quiet and scared. And so what you see in Hollywood right now, you have all these people that are speaking out. They're part of this. I'm sorry, it's everybody's favorites, I know. This is all just a distraction, okay? Just a complete distraction. Everything is flipped. Everything is false. Every single thing that you ever thought you knew is an absolute lie. And so, but in the city of the lost angels, okay, those lost angels that control the people in that city, the lost souls, because there are lost souls in the city, you know, but you have to understand, it's completely reversed, okay, because they're in Hollywood. So, where their status, you know, they believe their status is higher, and so what they have received and learned is higher. It's a higher learning, but it's not. It's a lower. Okay? It's a lower. And so it is the lies, it is the giants that are taking them down. Because it's going to be flipped. Okay, so the giants, flipping that, it will be the truth that takes them down. That's all about words. So again, the truth is going to all come out, because we're doing that from light to dark, dark to light. And so horrific, what we're going to find out. Okay, all your favorites, and all of these kids. If you go through and you look, these young child actors, you know how they've all had these meltdowns and suicides, and what they've gone through, what these kids have gone through, and it was after the Parkland shooting. Of course, I had to dig and research, and I kept finding these ties to Nickelodeon and Universal Studios, and it was to the cartoons. It was all to the kids stuff, right? Well, I knew then. Well, now, many of the creators of these cartoons, okay, they're massively involved in pedophilia, but they, even the voiceovers, the kids that do the voices, just for the voices, all day long these kids are abused. They're sexually abused all day long. There, all day. So your kids' favorite shows, those poor kids on there, what they've gone through. I can't, it's so terribly sad. And so, you know, it comes a point where are you in or you're out with it. You know, after what they've gone through, a lot of them become predators themselves, or they become a part of it where they bring children to them. Okay? Either way, they're somewhere still in it. Okay? They're in it some way. And so, to get out, it's very, very hard. It's very hard. So, and people are not want to believe this. I will tell you, I battle people on this all the time. They don't want to believe it. What cracks me up, though, is when somebody thinks that I read something, or that I've heard something, and I'm going along, and I'm believing it. And I'm like, you don't know me. You have no clue. How long and how much research I have put into this, and put it together. So look at San Francisco, the city of gold, right? Golden city, city of gold, golden rush. Look what's happening to it now. It's flipping. It's flipping. Just the opposite. It's flipping. So, there's going to be coming up, and it's going to start soon, and it's going to start a total shift against the Jews. Okay? It's going to be a total about face to the Jews. Now, it's going to be very there's going to be turmoil, because the Bible says we're supposed to bless Israel and bless the Jews, and you know, but you have to understand, there's rabble, okay, that was switched for the Levites, all right? Meaning, not all Jews who say they are Jews are Jews. There was a switch. This is where I found, I kept getting stuck these past few years. Kazakhstan. I knew something happened in that Eastern European area, okay, with the Jews. Something happened, because as I started studying the migration of the big rabbi families, the Rebbe's, coming into this country, and this is where they were from. I mean, there's two sides, okay? There's two sides, but it's this area, okay? Which is really strange. Then I started noticing that it's Russia, okay, and it's Ukraine, and it's all of the families, it's all the people here that are accusing, again, Trump association with Russia. It's all these Jewish families that I have lengthily, okay, I mean, tied back to the roots there. Do you find that odd? Their roots are all from there, okay? Not Trump's, but theirs. So I'm like, wait a minute. I know this is where they all stemmed from. This is where they all come from. And they're all married into Dianne Feinstein, maiden name Goldman, hence Goldman Sachs. Okay, her husband who passed away, where she got the name Feinstein, his family was the Feinstein, Moish Feinstein. It's Moses Feinstein. I mean, it's a big, huge rabbi, huge holy man. Okay, huge. All right, when you go through like this, Adam Schiff. Okay, when I started going through, they're all from the same area, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus. That's where they're all from. Okay, he is related to the Rabbi Schneerson. He is the holy man, okay? He is the one that founded Chabad in New York. I mean, he was really the founding of Judaism here in the United States. It's huge. He is like one of their Messiah, okay? And so that is Schiff. I mean, they all are tied to one side or the other of this rabbinical line, okay? Rabbinical. Is it rabbinical or rabbinical? Rabbinical. Okay, lines. That's their key. So when you go through, whether it be Greenberg, Gold, you know, doesn't matter. They're all tied. Rahm Emanuel, their last name is Auerbach, really, okay? The stories that they give of where they're from is all BS, I'll tell you that. He's an Auerbach. They're from Israel, from a holy rabbi, okay? Again, Chicago is a hub. The whole Chicago area is a hub, okay? It's a connection place, big time. Huge, huge, huge. So, all of these ones, Ruth Ginsburg, same way. Okay, when you start going in, they're all connected. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Thing is, then they went to, then their other leg, you know, that is that's east, the middle, and the west. This is what they practice, because if you truly do the historic research and you see why all of the Jews were kicked out of countries, because that's when they would have to go to another one, another one, another one, it was due to blood libels. It was due to the killing of the Gentile children. It was always the death of the children. They were accused of putting the blood, baking the blood into the bread and serving it at Passover. Now, this has to do with concrete too. This whole C-mix, this whole concrete thing of the Tucson, finding these trafficking places for these children, and had to do with this big concrete company who was tied to the Rothschilds and to all of the elites. Okay, that they mix blood and human, corpses, but they mix blood in with the concrete, and it's for the foundation. It's like a blessing, okay? And people were trying to say, oh, that's not true. It is true. Because if you go back, I don't care how many hundreds of years ago, this is what they did. This is what they did. And so, as I'm going to each country, and I'm reading, and I mean, this is hours and hours and hours, and weeks and weeks, and months and months and months and months in this past couple of years, reading all of this, finding out, I didn't start to find out why they were kicked out. I was finding the path, okay, of the Israelites and of the Jews, right? So then being kicked out, it was always over the killing, of, torture. What's happening to these kids now. And that's why. But see, it's not written in any books, because we don't write the books, they do. You have to understand, Israel's who has the heart of God. Israel, Jacob had to go through whatever to refine his heart. And it was when his heart was refined, okay, and he wrestled with God to get that blessing, that's when he named him Israel. Israel is who has the heart of God. So whoever has God's blessing is Israel. It's not the Jews as we've been taught. It's not Israel as we've been taught. Okay? Understand that. Understand that. And so the United States right now is Israel. But it's really the heart of God. And the United States of everybody is the heart of God. And so we are Israel. Okay. I'm going to hopefully wait till they leave again. And I go back out in the light. And I'll do another one. I love you. See you soon. I know this is hard to take, you guys. It really is hard to take. But it's true stuff.